What's up guys, this is Theo here coming to you live with another coding tutorial. Today I am going to talk to you about how to create your first ASP.NET MVC web application using C Sharp. Um, so I'm running Windows 10 via Parallels, which is a virtual machine that will spin up an instance of this operating system that I purchased, Windows 10. And from there I downloaded Visual Studio 2015. So have it open, but you don't know where to find it after you've installed it, you can click on your startup menu, and I have it here, most used. You can also search for it. So I'm going to open it up, Visual Studio 2015. Just open up another instance of it as the Community Edition. So it installs the IIS Express server for you, and it also installs an instance of SQL Server. So yeah, once we get this main window up, there's a bunch of different options. You can connect to Azure. I'm signed in right now, so you do need to have an account, which is free. And from the start page, we can just click File. You can either do it here, or you can do File, New Project. And we're going to create an ASP.NET web application, but there's a lot of different things you can create. We're just going to call it First Project. And create a new directory. We don't need to create a new Git repository. We're going to click OK. I guess I already have one called First Project. So let's call it First App. Click OK. And this will pull up the template we want. We want an MVC. We want to change authentication. We don't really care about any of this. So we're going to click No. We don't really need to add unit tests, but we can. I can show you. And we click OK, and this will start creating our project. You can see down here this purple strip. It'll create it, and it'll add some libraries for you. It'll give you Bootstrap, jQuery, and a lot of other helpful libraries like Modernizer, JavaScript, and you can sort of see that happening. It takes a little while to spin up because it is a pretty heavy framework, but I think it's pretty beautifully architectured, even though a lot of people give it a bad name. So, as this is making its final touches to the project, in this project, all I'm going to do is show you how you can run your application locally, and then we are going to sort of work on building a model out that's just going to store some data, store some users. We're going to pass that model to our controller. Finally, we're going to pass that controller data, that model data from our controller to our view, and show you how you can iterate over that list, that collection that we're going to make. So you can sort of see this is what it spins up for you, sort of nice bootstrap looking application that has all these links to get started, and it's adding all of these files in here. So pretty cool. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's got your app start, your scripts, your views, your controllers, web config, and it's got your test as well. I think, yeah, it's even written one test in there for you. We can maybe write a test. But if you open up this, it's got this test class, this decorator, and basically all it's doing is it's grabbing this home controller. It's grabbing that method, and it's asserting that that method actually exists. So pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, guys. So to actually spin up our application, we're gonna click play or start, which will create a new instance of your application in your browser of choice. I'm just using Edge, but normally I use Chrome. So it says build started, then it should say build succeeded, and then we will see it. So build succeeded down there. Now it's going to run it in Edge, and we'll see that we have a fully fledged working application. Once this spins up, localhost 54050. And let's see what we got. So it definitely scaffolds out a pretty nice starter application for you to just get moving. But I will agree, ASP.NET MVC has a pretty steep learning curve, I feel like. Um, if you don't know anything about it, especially if you don't know any C Sharp, but I think it's really great. So it's almost loaded. Takes a little bit of time the first time. And any day now. Maybe it's because I'm running parallels, it's just not that fast. So come on. Okay, so that's what it loads for you. It's a responsive site, and you can see the links actually work. This just takes you to home, about, contact. So you already have sort of an application working. Got some more links, learn more. Cool. So yeah, let's go back into Visual Studio and start working with some data. So we have first app, and we're just going to close this for now, and we want to open up our Solution Explorer, and we want to go into our app start and our route config, which handles our routes. We want to stop our application from running, and you pass it a few different parameters. So we say routes.map_route, map route, and we're going to say name. It's going to be users. URL. This is like the URL path. It's going to take a controller. It's going to take in an action, and then it can take in an ID optionally, but we're not going to show that, but I'll just put it in there. And then we want defaults. It's going to be a new controller equals users. We need to create that. Action equals, we'll just call it get users, and ID equals URL parameter dot optional. So our route is now configured. This should actually work in the browser, but not yet because we don't have the controller in a view. That's our route. So now that we have that, let's open up our Solution Explorer again, bring it off to the left a little bit, and let's go into our controllers, and we see we have a home controller, and this is handling all of our methods right now. But let's go in here and let's create a new controller. Right click, add controller, and we want an MVC5 controller empty. We're going to call it users controller. This will scaffold out our controller. Pretty bare bones, but it doesn't matter. And so this is get user, returns our index view. We don't really care about that, but we want to create a new public action result. This is just the type. It's going to be called get users. And what is it saying? Oh, right. So it just needs to return a view. And let's go ahead and create this view real quick. So we're going to click add view. View name, get users. Cool. This will scaffold out and it'll put it in our views. Users, get users. You can see this down here. Get users. It's created that. So let's go back to, what is it saying? Object, name view bag does not exist in the current context. Okay, I'm not really sure about that, but alright. So go back to our users controller. Now we want to actually bring in some data. So in our models folder, what we're going to add a new model. So we're just going to do add class, and we're just going to call it users model. And so now we have our class of users model, and we want it to have two properties. We want the user to have an age and a name. So I'm going to type in prop, and you can see this is a code snippet. So I'm going to press tab, and then tab again. This is going to make a public int property with a getter and setter. We're just going to change this to name, and we're going to change that to string, and we're going to create one more. And this is going to be age. It's So here's our users model. Cool. Um, awesome. Looks good. And this is the namespace we need when we're going to import our model. But first, let's go back here and let's actually create our users. So we're going to say users, or we're going to create a list of type users model. Then we're going to call it users, which is set it equal to new list type users model, and then we'll just instantiate it. So now what it's complaining about is that we do not have the users model, so show potential fixes. We want to, using first app.models, we want to use our models, create a user statement. There it is. Awesome. Okay, so we have that, and let's create a few users. So we're going to say users model user1 equals a new users model. I'm just going to create a few instances of it, of type users model. And now if we do user1 dot age and name, we can get these two properties. So we're going to do name equals Theo, and then we'll do user1 dot age equals 22, and let's just repeat this to get a few more users in our list. So do user2, 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 and we'll just say John 25, and then we'll create one more users. User3, Rick, and 30. And notice, like, if I were to try and add something like, change this user3 dot height equals 72, right? It'll say, oh, user model does not contain a definition. You can generate a field for height, generate property. So either one, it doesn't matter, but we're not going to do that. So now that we have our users, let's actually add them to the list. The way we can do this, on the list method, there's a property called add. So we'll do add, and then we will pass it user1, user2, and user3. All right. Add range. I wonder if add range. I've never tried add range. Okay, so I guess nah, maybe you can't do that. I don't know. I guess we'll just add one at a time. So we'll just add user1, add user2, and then we'll add user3. And then the way to get our users to our view is right here. Right when we return the view, we'll pass in users. So now our view has access to this variable because the MVC has passed it along. ASP.NET MVC passes it along. So let's go into our get user now. And the way we do this is we'll say app model, letting MVC know we want to use the users model, and we'll say first app.models. So that's good. It lets us use the model. What is it saying? Using app model, first app.models. Models. Models dot first app dot models dot users models. So now that's resolved. We have that. But now watch this. You'll notice we're going to try and make a for each. And we'll say var user in model. This is how we do it. Say for each user in the model we're creating. And then create a li element. And we'll say at user dot. Notice, right? We're not getting this is IntelliSense. So what it says is the model does not contain a public definition for get enumerator, which means that we haven't told this model that we want to enumerate over it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but what I looked up, if you tell it that you want it to be of type iList or iEnumerable, then that is resolved. So let's get rid of that. Let's resolve that. And now we should be able to say at user dot, and we get our properties now, age and name. So let's say dot name, and then we'll say user dot age. Cool. So if that's all good, I know that was a lot of stuff to test before actually getting it up and running. I probably should have looked before, but let's see if this all works. I wanted to explain everything that was going on and show you how to do it without using something like ViewBag. Showing you actually how to get your data all the way across. So let's let this spin up. Wait for a little bit. Hopefully this comes out how we want. You see it's going to the sort of file path that we're in, which isn't always what you want. But let me just take it back out and go to root. Let's close that. See if we're getting what we want. Takes a little bit of time. And okay. So we got all of our links, about, contact. Now let's just try going to users. User. What the heck? Alright, whatever. Users. Following locations are searched. Users, I don't know why it's not letting me. Hold on, let me go back. First app, I don't know why it's not letting me type in uppercase U. That's really strange to me. Users, view index, which master is not found. No view engines boarded. What is it saying now? Oh, I know, right. So I think I know. In our route config, action, get users, action, route default, new controller, users, action, get users, ID, okay, controller, action, users, controller, turn view, probably action result. Do I need that? I don't think I need that. Let me get rid of this. Might have to change it if I'm wrong. Show you some debugging. Let me go to the view. Let's actually make sure it exists. I'm pretty sure it does because I just did this. Go to view. Okay, it does exist. Users, get users, users model. Let's build this again. Let's run it. And let's see what we're getting this time. Users, get users. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay. So it looks like the way I mapped it, users are not found because there's no index method for it. So we mapped it to get users. So I should probably change out the routing on that. But when we do go to get users, you can see that we are indeed getting our data back. And if you really want to see this, that it's actually working like in here, we can come in here and go back to first app and go to Solution Explorer, and we'll go to is it the view start? No, it's views, home, or shared layout is the main layout, and we can see here are the links that are added. So let's add in an HTML action link, and this will take in a few parameters, as you'll be able to see. So take in the name, so say users, and this will be the user's controller. That's the second parameter, and this is the method. So it's going to be called get users. So that should work. Let's refresh and see what we're getting now. Hopefully it'll show up here. Maybe I made a mistake with one of the parameters. I don't think so though. Let's see. Should show up right next to contact. Let's just make sure. Okay, we now see, so we have contact, about, home, and users. Get users. That's strange. What did I do wrong? Get users / users. Yeah, I reversed one of the parameters, I think. So I think it's home index home. So let's see, what did it give me? It gave me get users / users. So I think this is users, and I think this is get users. Now let me reverse it. Maybe I'm wrong, but let me try this out. Let's see. Otherwise I need to read up on the parameters of that. So let's look again. Sorry about the failures. So we have home, about, contact, and get users. Okay, cool. So that works. Awesome. Second time's a charm, I guess. And so basically, if you look in here, this HTML action link, it takes in string link text. So what we want to actually write there, like what we want to show displayed to the user, then the name of the action, which is get users in our case, and then the controller name. So I just had these two reversed. So that's really all there is to it, guys, for that. I'm going to be showing more and more videos, but definitely hope you guys enjoyed watching that, and hope you learned a little bit. I want to start building like full applications from the ground up with it to show you guys really how you can, move all the way from the database to creating a full app. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me have some feedback. Always appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Have a great day and take care.